What is up, you guys? It's your favorite cutie Mel back again on my Self-Help channel to give you guys yet another video. Today is another day. It's a brand new day, and I decided that I am going to just talk more about my personal self, my journey to healing, my journey to breaking cycles in my relationships, and I want to share that with other people because it's hard for me to share it in real life. And although it may seem absurd for me to choose to share this journey with people on the internet, even though I'm not always able to do it in real life, I think it's helpful because I feel comfortable in front of the camera, and ultimately, like, it's just a step in the right direction for me. And I feel like sharing our journey with other people who might be going through the same things can be great, because I think the people who will gravitate to these videos might be the people who need these videos. So, I always find it helpful when people are open and honest, like I shared in my last video about the stuff that they're going through, because it helps me to feel more human, okay with myself. And the truth is, we all have things that we struggle with. We all have things that we are trying to overcome, whether it's big or small. So I want to share my journey and let that be a motivation for me to really avidly do things that are going to help me change, okay? So the affirmation card that I picked today was set boundaries. I did shuffle the cards and I picked this randomly, even though guys didn't see it. I had to start the video over. I picked this card and it is set boundaries, which is very appropriate for someone who may be an avoidant, fearful attachment, okay, like myself. Affirmation: I don't want to feel uncomfortable anymore. Reminder: I don't need to fake happiness around others to make them feel comfortable. Practice: speak up when trigger words are used around you and let others know you are uncomfortable. If you can't vocalize your boundary, give yourself space and take note of who respects your time away. Okay. So it's so crazy how sometimes things like align so perfectly, like what you're going through and what you need to hear at the time. So yeah, anyways, let's just hop right into it. I am making this video because after, you know how sometimes if you post a video, if you're a content creator, YouTube will start suggesting YouTube videos that kind of align with what it is that you're putting out there. And literally last night I had several like epiphanies in my car that I shared with you guys in my videos about just how I feel about like connecting with other people, and kind of just finally giving myself enough mental space to sit with how I am feeling, put it into words so that I can understand myself better, so I can know what course of action is going to be best. So, leads me to say, this morning I saw a wonderful video about being fearfully avoidant. And it really hit the nose on the head for me because recently I wonder, I'm just going to be honest with you guys, I don't have a lot of close friends. I don't confide in a lot of people. For the longest of times, I just don't choose to be really vulnerable most times with the people around me. Like, if I'm going through things, people most likely won't know, because I show up in a way where it's never talked about, and usually you wouldn't know it because I don't act like it, which I don't feel like I should have to go around and act like something's wrong, but I don't share when I'm going through a hard time with people. And I think that is where I decided that that's something that I want to change. Like, I don't want to have to put on a mask for people to make it seem like everything's going great with me, and just feeling like I don't want to be around people. And this is nobody's fault but my own, because I'm the one who chooses not to share. I'm the one who shows up in a way where I always want to look like everything is okay, and not ever really exposing to people my down moments, so people would never know. They would never, 1000% never know. And a lot of the people that I connect with would never, they've never really seen me be honest fully in our relationships. If something bothers me, most of the time I would just keep it to myself and I'll let it go. I'll usually gaslight myself out of thinking that something is a big deal, never bring it up. So I can understand why people might be taken off guard as of recently, when I just decided that I guess it's too heavy of a burden for me to continue to be the way that I've been. I don't want to be the person who's always smiling because I'm trying to keep others comfortable, which kind of goes back to the affirmation. I think that I have prioritized others being comfortable in my presence over me being comfortable in my presence and in my relationships, if that makes sense. So anyways, I knew that she was talking to me when she said a lot of fearful avoidant people basically only get close to the people that they're in a relationship with. So a lot of the times, the only people that I feel like have really seen me for better or for worse are the people that I've been in intimate relationships with, because it's somewhat kind of hard to avoid when you're in that kind of dynamic. Like, it's hard not to. I'm sure some people are able to still not really show all of themselves in a relationship. I think that could be common, but I think for me, it's only been easiest to be my full self in relationships that are romantic, not so much platonic. And she talked about how basically if we have these on and off relationships with people, especially exes, because what we do is when something goes wrong or when we are just overwhelmed with whatever it is that's happening, we typically will just exit stage left. Exit the relationship sometimes, and leave altogether. I've done it. I've been the kind of person who's in the breakup, makeup kind of relationships where I try to break up with people when I'm feeling overwhelmed, because I don't want to be honest about how I'm feeling, or I'm scared. I guess I'm scared to let people know how I'm feeling, because sometimes I feel like if I'm honest about how I really feel, or if I'm my complete self with this person, that I will be rejected for it. I will be not accepted. I'll be other. I'll be this weird person who feels this way. Or sometimes I fear that I'm too much. Like, am I too deep? Do I think too deeply into things? Like, I don't allow myself to just be my full self without judging myself. And because I'm judging myself, it makes it hard for me to be real with other people, you know? And usually when I do allow myself to be seen in those very insecure states, I usually disconnect from those people. So that'll be the time when I break up with someone, or I cut people off, or I'm in a friendship or in work situations. This has happened because this is another thing that I realized. So I realized that the reason why I always try to work with my friends is because I am an entrepreneur, and it puts me in a power position. I hate to say this, but it's true. I put myself in a power position with other people, and I guess it's a way of feeling more comfortable that I have control to a certain extent of how much I have to give of myself, and being able to use money in a way. I think I've been using money as a way to have a certain kind of control, and even use it as a barrier with people who have been my friends. And I think this is why I'm not friends with a lot of people anymore, because somewhere down the line, I was doing this unconsciously. I wasn't doing it on purpose. So I wasn't like purposely being like, yeah, let me work with my friends so I can push them away a bit and keep them at bay, and we can keep things cool. But that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing. I'll get a connection with someone. We'll start working together, because that's where I feel most comfortable, because I like to lead in my entrepreneurial things and my creative things. I'm typically the leader, the person who is initiating plans, initiating this and that. And somewhere along the line, like, I invite people into this world because I feel more control in this world. I feel more control when it's about my creative endeavors or my business, because then subconsciously I know that, it puts me in a position where I'm not going to have to truly be authentic, because there's something about working with people that it kind of changes things. Like, it changes things, and it's not just a regular relationship. And I recently cut off 2 people because that are friends who have been long-term friends, because I got overwhelmed in the moment. I let myself show my disappointment, and I immediately panicked. And what I did was disconnect, push those people away, block them on socials, and and that's not right. And I'm sure I understand why people have been hurt by that, because it's just it probably can seem like I'm going from 0 to 100. Like, what? I thought we was good. These people have probably never really seen me express any type of discontentment with my relationship with them. If I do feel things, typically I keep them inside. I don't share them all the time unless it becomes to a point where it's like you're literally stepping on my toes. So not expressing my boundaries, not expressing my needs, not wanting to express my needs for support and things because I'm afraid of them not wanting to, or coming off as needy, or coming off as a burden. So yeah, I don't let people get close, and then when things get too bad, or I just can't take it anymore, or things have just slowly been stacking up, I just say F it all together and cut those people off. And then I feel bad afterwards, because I know that maybe I have overreacted, because some things can just be talked about without me having to push people away, and make this big scene about everything. So basically, I'm happy that this happened though, because I pushed everyone else. I've already pushed everyone else away. I've already done it. So it's just I've already pushed everyone away. And I think it's just time for me. I think that it's time for me to change, And I don't feel like a bad person, because I'm realizing that I'm only doing these things. I've been trying to change my language from being upset and stuff to I am hurt, because the truth is, this comes from hurt. This comes from wounding. This comes from not being supported in my fullness as a kid, and making that mask and feeling like I need to be a certain version of myself to maintain friendships. But that's also, that protection that I built up is now keeping blessings out. It's keeping friendships away. It's keeping me from being close to people the way that I truly desire to. It keeps me from feeling comfortable telling people how I really feel before it's too late. And by too late, usually on my terms, and pushing them away completely, to the point where either I damage the relationship, and people don't feel safe because I pushed them away, seemingly for maybe they might feel like no reason, or they don't even understand what's going on, or they don't understand the reaction, the bigness of the reaction by the time I finally let how I feel be known, and I'm ready for a change. So I said all this to say, I got some really good advice. There are these meetings called ACA, and basically they're for people who grew up in dysfunctional families, or basically in families who have some type of addiction, where maybe your parents were addicted to something. And I decided that I am going to go to ACA. And I don't really have many expectations. It's kind of like an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. And I've already reached out and got the information, and I'm going to be going as soon as I'm able to, as soon as my son is probably out of school and I have time to go, because it's during the day. I'm going to just go and check it out. I don't know if I'm going to like it. I don't know if maybe I'll need to transfer groups, maybe to a different group. I don't know, but I'm going to try it. And I'm going to feel the experience of being seen, being vulnerable, talking about things I never talk about, just being open. I already feel emotional just saying this, because I don't talk about things, and I should, and I deserve to accept myself, and I deserve to be accepted by others by showing up when I'm showing up in all of my all of my range of who I am. And I think that this is going to help me, because for the longest time it's been hard for me to do anything other than just blame the person or the situations that I know have caused me to be this way. But now I'm just tired of it being a matter of just stopping at that. Like, I want to actively take steps to help myself, and hopefully by documenting this process I will help others get the courage, or even as I find steps to take to help me to change on this journey, because I don't expect to be different overnight. I don't expect any of that. I plan to be patient with myself, but I hope that I can give, hopefully, advice to other people one day, who are maybe in the future, who will find this video and are in the position that I'm in now, and that you can relate to the now me, and hopefully transform into this person who can say, yeah, in the past I wasn't able to really maintain a lot of friendships because I was afraid, this, that, and the third, and now I have many great friendships, deep friendships, hopefully healed friendships, and I'm in a better place. I have support. I have a long-term partner, because I think that if I do want to get married, I can't be someone who wants to run away all the time. So instead of blaming it on other people and being able to always see what they're doing wrong, I want to take action on what it is that I can control. And I think that's really probably the only barrier that's keeping me from having everything that I want, especially like in a partner-wise, because if I want a healthy relationship, I have to also be a healthy partner, and be able to communicate, feel safe, and ultimately just love all of myself. Love the ugly parts of me, love the parts of me who are scared, love the parts of me, and understand the me inside, the child me, the little person inside of me who learned that it wasn't okay to be herself, who learned that she had to protect herself by being a smiling face and never letting people know that they hurt me, and always going back to the same people who hurt me. I really can identify with that. Like, basically, when you're a kid, and the person that you need to heal the problem that they've caused, like for instance with my dad, the reason why it's hard for me to forgive my dad is because I never have come to a true place of feeling like I'm being understood, and he gets the impact. I never get the feeling that he really fully takes responsibility for being the way that he has been. And it stops me. It's hard for me to forgive people when they don't really know or understand. When I feel that they don't know or understand what the real issue was, and they're just apologizing just to apologize, or apologizing that I felt some type of way, instead of really apologizing deeply for being able to name something that they've done to help me get to this place. And I've never gotten that. So that turns into me going back to the people who hurt me continuously to try to fix it, or to try to understand, or to try to just have some type of victory over like some sort of bad situation. And it's been hard for me in my life. I think there's only been like a couple of times in my life where I think that I've been able to be successful in a romantic relationship, where maybe it didn't work out, and then me and that person can honestly talk about it, and I can feel that that person understood what hurt me, and we'd be able to get back on good terms, and vice versa. Yeah, because I'm really good at beating myself up and being able to understand what I did wrong, but for some reason I just attract people. I'm repeating a relationship that I had with my dad, having an open wound, never being able to close it, keep on trying to close it with that person. And she mentioned in the video that I was watching this morning that we don't have to, and we shouldn't try to get healing where we were hurt. Like, it's important to build other support systems and to be able to move on, essentially, and stop trying to correct something that may not be able to be, we only have so much control over what people are willing to understand about themselves and what they've done, or some people are not interested in it. Some people are not interested in healing. Some people are not interested in, like, truly looking at how their actions impact others. And I feel like that's been my case with my dad. And I think that he just had a traumatic childhood, but I think that that's what stops me from truly wanting to pursue having a meaningful relationship with him, because I don't want to keep being hurt in the same ways. So instead of feeling like I am going to just keep trying, as I've gotten older, I just realized that it's going to stay pretty surface level on my end until, or if he ever decides to get help on his own. And if that never happens, then I probably won't ever have a close relationship with him, because I feel like it's impossible. It's very surface. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that this helps somebody. I intend for it to help somebody. Maybe you see yourself in this. If you're wondering and having questions about your own journey with, like, connecting with others and feeling like you belong in this world with a group of people who love you and who can support you, then, join the channel. I'm going to keep being vulnerable and making videos about my process. So, as I always say, pie, stay cute. Mwah. I'll see you guys later, and happy healing.